Hey guys, welcome to the Goddess Conjurer podcast and show. I'm your host, Christina Margaret. Today I have my very special friend and guest, Sarah Bingham here. Sarah and I go way back and we're going to tell you all about it today on our chat. And we also have some exciting news to share for our future together. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. I'm so glad that we're doing this together. I'm going to give a little background. So Sarah and I were quite the couple back in the day. And it seems like a lifetime ago, but we were very close. We had a YouTube cooking show together called Food Inc. It was a very short-lived process, but we were pitched to Food Network 3 times, and we used to make these amazing little videos and all this delicious food together, and it was a lot of fun. And then we had a growing apart, and now for the last, almost 2 years, we've been back together. And so it's such a pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you. Yeah, it goes way back. And I feel like, because our connection was and is so deep that it probably goes back like lifetimes,
Yeah, it totally does. Yes, you were my first true soul sister. So I remember when we started speaking again after taking settler hiatus.
Yeah.
And I said I felt like a piece of me returned, and I still mean that and think that. So it's totally
crazy how when we separated, we were both on these major like growth journeys.
We did.
And then we've reunited. Like it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's been incredible. We both did a lot of healing and growing during those years apart. Or 1 year. I think we were 2 years apart.
I feel like it was
together.
Yeah, I feel like it was 2.
And I mean, we would definitely both agree that where we were when we were doing the food show and where we were in life, we were very different creatures than we have evolved to be. And it's really cool to come back together. And we did all of this growth separately, but we just had such an powerful energy together. I really think that we could take on the world in a sense. And so coming back with such an immense amount of spiritual, emotional growth is pretty cool.
And it's just the beginning.
Yeah, totally. So Sarah, I have a background in food, and I hope that didn't cut out there. Siri thought I was talking to her, so hopefully she doesn't pop in again. She tends to just show up during my recordings now and then. So you have been in the food industry for a long time, and not everyone knows. I don't even know if I've ever really shared on the podcast that I was in the food industry, and I kind of still am, like for years and years. But that was sort of what brought us together, is that we both loved food so much. And so when we were broken up, this is how I love to say it. We were separated. You actually were already a Red Seal chef with like tons of experience and knowledge and love and passion. And then you went and took your holistic nutritionist certification, right?
Correct. Yes. Yeah. I took my holistic nutrition at Canadian School of Natural Nutrition. It was wonderful. You learn so much. And now I think merging the two together is so I call myself a holistic chef. And then I'm still building on the holistic part because I've been in the food industry for so long, but I also feel like I have more to offer than just cooking. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, I know, you're very much the same, right?
I get that.
Yeah. I don't want to be pegged in just food for the rest of my life, you know? There's still growth to do in other areas, and food will always be a huge part of it because that is part of our life. But yeah, I'm just still building on everything.
Cool. Yeah, I definitely like I left the industry basically to to start coaching and to start working on the other side of me and those other things I knew that I had in me to offer. Right.
Yeah.
But I go back so often to nourishment with people.
Yeah.
And how important that is, not only with food, but with like soul life and love, right? How do you nourish yourself in a overall sense? So what does nourishment mean to you?
Nourishment means, I think the base of it, and like maybe the top, is self-love is at the base of everything. And so nourishing your body, I mean, if you want to talk like nutritional, whole foods and good quality water and sleep. Sleep is so important. And then, you know, time for yourself. I mean, this nourishment, that's such a like huge topic.
It's broad, but people don't, you know, I notice so often it's one of the biggest things that I bring up with clients, like, what is nourishment to you, you know, and how do you nourish yourself? And it's a hard question.
And a lot of people don't know how.
It's beyond food. Yeah.
It is beyond food, but even at a food level, a lot of people don't know how and are intimidated by it. And so that's where I would like to come in, is encouraging people to have fun in the kitchen. You know, like I do, like, you know, people are like, oh, you know, I need your recipe. I need your recipe. And it's like, well, I don't really work with recipes. And I think it's, you know,
yep, I do.
And I feel like you don't need to work with recipes. Like, use your intuition in the kitchen a little bit, taste as you go, have fun, like experiment. You can't really screw it up. Yeah. You know, that's kind of like, I think what I want to get across to people.
You know, that's really interesting because like, I think where people like fuck shit up in the kitchen is overthinking, over analyzing, and not being intuitive.
Yeah. Not trusting themselves like at all. Right.
Absolutely. Like how many of the best things that I've ever created that have been the most nourishing have come from my soul.
Yeah, for sure.
Have not ever come from a recipe.
Yeah. And so saying, from your soul, also the energy that you would have been cooking with, right? Like,
and the consciousness of the ingredients that you use.
Yes, ingredients that you use and intention that you're putting into the food, you know, not cooking when you're pissed off is a good one.
Eating when you're pissed off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or upset or angry. Like there's so much that goes into that awareness and building that awareness. And that's what people are disconnected from, right? Mm-hmm. Even intuition in general is lacking in that department because there's a disconnect from that inner voice and there's a disconnect to trusting yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So many people are like, oh, I don't know how to cook. You know, I don't know how to cook. But, you know, I just, that's where I wanted to show people, you do know how to cook it.
Yeah, you do.
You do. Yeah. And it can be so much fun and it can be very simple. You know, we have like amazing resources on the island to be able to get high quality ingredients that are local. And I know lots of people have started their own gardens and just starting small and having fun with it, you know. I only started gardening when COVID hit. That's when I consider I really started gardening. And you just keep learning every year, right?
Yeah, you love it.
I love it. And I did that before. I never thought I would be a gardener prior to COVID. I was like, I had a couple, you know, kale plants in buckets and stuff. And I never would have said I loved it. But now I do, because I'm starting to comprehend a little bit, you know, building the soil over the winter months. And it's just about having fun with it. You have to have fun with it and not look at it as like a job, you know?
Totally. I think that's wonderful. And I think like you're a mom now. That's also kind of something that took place, you know, during our breakup. That's like actually one of the things that my mom really taught me was to garden and to be in the dirt and the soil. And my grandpa was like a huge gardener. And like, I had my own plot in my parents' garden growing up. And that was really special to me and really important. And I learned a lot about food from, you know, those experiences
Mhm.
and how to take care of something that, you
Mhm.
know, was going to become something that took care of me.
Mhm. And kids, you know, for any people out there that have children, they will eat a vegetable covered in dirt out of their garden, right? If they helped grow it and stuff like juniper, or the kids at the daycare. I mean, we can get into what I do later or whatever, but like kids that don't eat vegetables, they'll go and rip off a chunk of kale and just start mowing it. They think it's hilarious. You know, they're pulling out onions. They think it's so cool. So I
actually know the taste of carrots with dirt on them from the garden. Carrots from like the garden with dirt are one of my favorite tastes.
Yeah.
Like I love like a real carrot. You know, you get bagged carrots at the grocery store. It's so different, right?
Yeah.
Not until you like go and get that farmer's market carrot or you actually grow them yourself. You're like, this is like what I had as a child. This is real food.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
So that's really funny. But yeah, of course, kids are just being conditioned. And if you've got parents that are, you know, not willing to step up, learn how to cook and nourish themselves, how do they teach a child how to nourish them?
Yeah.
So, to nourish themselves. So, and that being said, so you are working at a daycare that's going to become a school right now as the chef, which is absolutely incredible.
It's very cool.
Yeah, and what an opportunity for a shift to take place where it comes into, you know, kids having a proper relationship with food, because that's something that's lost right now, right? Everything is
packaged, right? Most kids, their lunch will be packages, you know, maybe a bag of baby carrots and then the chips and the crackers and
the baby carrots aren't real.
Snack. Baby carrots are not real. No,
carrots don't have babies, you guys.
Oh God. I think that the baby carrots are put in a tumbler, and I actually heard that they are bleached or something.
Because they get sure they are. There's no way they stay good in that bag for that long.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, we have like a small garden area at the school, which I hope to expand on, but it's a one-person show. So but yeah, I created a healthy lunch program at Juniper's daycare, and it should be the blueprint for all schools, you know, and I think it's moving in that direction. But yeah, where kids, you know, they go out to the garden, they see me grabbing stuff from the garden. I can bring them into the kitchen sometimes. Like they just love it, you know,
well, and they're gonna remember it. They're gonna, that's gonna build something for them, right?
Yes, it will build a relationship.
Yeah, which is like what they're lacking.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you live in the city. So like, you know, not a big city, but like you live in a city.
I live downtown.
So you're an example of someone who's still growing their own food. Like I'm out in the country, so I obviously can grow food here, but you're utilizing your backyard that people wouldn't necessarily take advantage of to grow food in. And you have taken what was an old flower garden and made it your vegetable garden and a pond.
Yeah, and filled it with dirt.
And it's amazing.
Proud. Yeah, I'm super proud of our little rural garden, actually, and it's beautiful. You know,
it is.
No one would guess. You don't need much space, and I have so much more space that I could use. Like I'm just.
Sarah, what also that does is it teaches people to get out of lack mentality and the what if and only if. Only if, well, you know, I might if, but like, even, you know, I have seen my friends on the mainland, like with garden boxes on their balcony in Vancouver.
And the vertical gardens are a big thing too.
Exactly.
Made out of like pallets and stuff, I believe. And they look so cool.
People have gotten really creative. So it's super important. I mean, our soil's lacking so much density. I'm sure you're up to date on like every documentary as I am and on farming, and, you know, this mass production of everything has really just sent us into fuckery. So, change starts with the small people.
Yeah. Well, remember at the beginning of COVID, people were worried about food accessibility, right? Yeah. And they were out hoarding stuff. So that was a big eye opener for me as well, right? Like, okay, well, let's start growing more. And I've lost my train of thought, but just start growing more.
Yeah, totally. And you've actually kept it up. I know a lot of
Yeah.
people really abandon it because people have this urge to be normal, get back to this idea of normal that's false. And we won't get into that, but, or we can, but you know, they've dropped it, right? They've gone back to what's convenient. And we're like, we live in a world that people thrive on that convenience. Meanwhile, it's what's destroying everything.
Yeah.
So, so what's your big dream with this? What would you love to see?
I would love to see. So it's very interesting actually, because I think about this often, how my big dream for myself is to have, you know, a plot of land elsewhere out in the boonies with an outdoor kitchen to hold workshops where I can have small groups of people. They can come visit my garden. The outdoor kitchen, I can just picture it. It's so beautiful with, you know, the raw live edge table, big long table for everyone. But it's interesting though, because where I'm living now is pretty much exactly what I want, but I'm downtown. You know what I mean? I have like my cute little house with the wood stove. I have my commercial kitchen outside and a garden. So I have like all the pieces.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
It's
dawned on me one day.
Play out, right? The things that we desire, we realize when we shift our perception that we may have them already.
I kind of do, but it's still, you know, I still picture being out on.
Yeah, and you want to expand on that. So that's what, you know, that's what you learn. You're like,
but I'm so grateful for what I have.
Yeah, absolutely. This was obtainable. I have this. I'm grateful for it, but I also want more. And like, that's okay. Right.
Yeah, for sure.
That's not greedy, because also where it's coming from is a place of giving.
Yeah.
Right. Like you want to help people. You want to help people grow and expand and learn. And so everything about that is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's my plan.
So anything, I know that people can follow you on Instagram, and I'm going to put your, all your tags in the show notes.
Yeah.
Anything that, are you offering any of your cooking classes or Facebook's lives this year? Are you planning on doing anything like that?
So I love Facebook lives. I started doing Facebook lives with Juniper at the beginning of COVID in a Facebook group. And then I was offering workshops, and soup cleanses is something I really like to do as well. 3-day soup cleanses. But I have taken some time off, and I briefly thought I was going to offer a soup cleanse in the new year that just passed, and I wasn't ready. Yeah. So I am taking my sweet time. I'm in a huge transition period of my life, but I'll get back to it. Cool. I don't know what it's going to look like at this point, but I'll get back to it. So you're in one of those phases. These are the best. This is where you think like nothing is going to happen, and then something extraordinary comes of it every time. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like I'm not done. I'm not done or anything, but I'm taking a break, and I love it because now like my weekends are mine to meditate, to go hiking. Whereas before it was like, oh, you have to be working on your website. What's going to be your next workshop, right? And it was just like push. And so it'll happen when it happens. Cool. And yeah, we'll see, right? You're a huge lover of nature. Yes. And I feel like that's growing for you more since you had Juniper as well. Oh yeah. I know that you used to love the mountain, and like you always were outdoors getting in the hikes and stuff, but having a child reminds you of what's important to you. Yes. Because I want to instill those things in her. And that was what was important to me all through my childhood and adolescence. And then you kind of lose that in like your 20s. I did, right? I lost it in my 20s and 30s. Most of my I lost a lot of shit during those years. Yeah, right. It was just like a bottle was what I was concerned with. So having Juniper was the best thing, because I'm just living outdoors how I wish I was my whole life, but that's okay. Yeah, I don't. I'm in the mountains. I'm in the woods. That's where I'm happiest. That's where I feel my best. And, you know, I've had other people say like, oh, you know, you I've taken a lot of first timers on like some pretty big hikes, and they're like, oh, you should do that. You know, like I'm a very grounding person, and people feel like safe and comfortable with me. So who knows, maybe down the road.
And you're an earth sign.
I'm an earth sign.
Yeah, it's natural.
Yeah, it very much
you're
matches.
Probably Pitta and Kapha Ayurvedically too. I don't think you have a lot of Vata in your makeup.
Yes, I believe Pitta. I did a little, you know.
I know you're Pitta for sure.
Yeah.
But you're always a blend. So I would think that you probably have some Kapha in you, and then you just have also in your astrology some earth.
Yes. Yeah.
So now like I am hustling grind.
You're the grand hustler, okay? You're the
like,
grand hustler.
My light bulb just flickered in the back of my head. So like, so is there a future of like some incredible overnight hiking experiences with you as a guide and this foraging of forest food and nourishment in your future? Because I have seen your future psychically before.
Yeah, you have. I'm pretty sure you called Juniper.
I did. Yeah.
You did.
Yeah. I saw her at age like 3, 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So I see that.
So foraging is something that is new to me as of like last spring, and something I'm really interested in. And yes, that's something that I want to bring in to future workshops. You know,
what a beautiful opportunity that would be.
Yes.
I really see that for you. So I guess we'll keep our eyes peeled if this is a prediction for the future. But I mean, I could really see you cultivating a wonderful experience for people. And you are very grounding. And like you have that safeness in that grounding that you give people. And comfort. So that's really fucking cool. I like love the outdoors. I love nature. I'm a bit of a wussy hiker. Like I want to go hiking, but then I'm like, oh, like what if I'm awful? Or so I'm more like just get out in nature to do it and go for like easy people walks.
Yep.
Still counts, but
for sure,
I would love to explore the woods more, the deep woods.
Yeah.
And I'd be definitely interested on maybe that's a collaboration for the future.
Probably
overnight hikes. We could totally that'd be fucking rad.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll let you come to me since you're on a break.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm not typing up the transcript.
Yeah, I'm getting a little antsy, right? Like I'm looking forward to having the vision of what is next for me, you know, so it will come. But yeah, a lot of my girlfriends are like, because I go by myself, you know, like,
I know.
Like, aren't you scared? Like, but man, I'm not scared in the woods. Right.
Yeah,
like the trees are taking care of me. And that's what I've taught Juniper is like, the trees are keeping you safe. And I'm not scared of animals. You know, it's just, it's maybe I should be, but I don't know. And I love a challenge. I love an individual challenge, like a physical challenge, a mental challenge. I've never been into team sports because it's too much pressure from the other people, but to put yourself like individually. Yeah. I love that.
Well, because we're our own worst enemy. And so, and in truth, the only thing we have anything to prove to is ourselves.
Yeah, for sure.
So why not go for it in any avenue that you can, right? And if it empowers other people along the way, then that's a community, which is different than a team, right?
Yes, definitely.
Wow, that sounds super cool. So I was going to wait, but let me ask, how do you think your spirituality has expanded over the past few years? And do you create vision boards? We just did a vision board workshop masterclass last night. It was pretty rad.
I know. So I meant to send you a picture because yes, I have a vision board in my bedroom that I did on the new moon in December, I believe. Odin.
Dog barking.
Yeah. Yes. So I have a vision board. Hey, sorry.
No, this is life with dogs and kids.
Yes.
Here, do you want to give it a sec?
Excuse me, come here.
We're back.
So yes, I hadn't done a vision board for a long time, but with everything that is going on in my personal life, it was like, felt like time, right? It's very similar to, my vision boards are often very similar. It's pictures of nature, health, food, you know, some little quotes, like right now is, you know, staying like internally young, right? Because we're aging, but like inside, I always feel younger than I am. And I think that's really important. Remaining like to have childhood curiosity and that stuff. So yes, I have my vision board. I will send you a picture of it later.
Cool.
And it's in my bedroom, so I can look at it every day. My spirituality, I've always, like when I look back at it now, like I've always yearned for spiritual growth, but then stuff got in the way and it just got like pushed down.
Drugs and alcohol.
Drugs and alcohol.
Drugs, alcohol, and men.
Yeah. So getting sober leaves a lot of room for you to do your spiritual work, which I'm still doing, but what I'm learning is that like, it's all within me because I'm going and I'll take, you know, workshops and courses, and that's great. That's great. But I know like my inner self knows everything.
Yeah.
You know,
and
these
that
workshops,
is the lesson.
Yeah. The workshops have all been amazing and have confirmed that and opened up like different avenues of exploring spirituality.
Totally.
I really like Kundalini yoga. I found that like super powerful and the accountability of being in some of these groups. Like I just started a 3-month group called Journey into the Heart. So a lot of like taking down the barriers and the shields that we've built around our heart and allowing air in to like feed the fire in our heart and using our magnetic field as our protection instead of closing off our heart. So that's the 3-month journey that I'm on right now, which is also the timing of it is perfect for where I'm at. And setting boundaries is very important. Huge. I think when you're on a spiritual journey, I am just, getting rid of stuff that does not feel in complete alignment with you. And finally listening to my intuition.
And those things fall away too. The more you listen to your intuition, the more you become aligned.
Yeah.
They just fall away. And it's like, it seems like only when we're in the struggle of it is when it's hard. Because we're trying to force something that isn't in our alignment, right? Yeah. That's when the drama shows up. That's when the hurt shows up. Not that we're not going to experience any kind of hurt or suffering.
Well, that's one of my favorite, one of my favorite quotes is new level, new devil. Right. So you are that new level, new devil, right? So you'll reach a new level of spirituality and growth. There's still going to be shit that comes up. Right.
I love that. Yeah, of course. And like there's no end in the journey. I'm constantly telling people that.
Which is a little discouraging sometimes.
But think of where you started. Think of where you started. You probably wouldn't even be able to recognize yourself at this point. I know. Oh my God.
I have like had so many lives within my life. It's crazy. Yeah. It's so crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's just at this young, ripe age of in 40 that we are.
40 is an amazing age to be.
So I just turned 41.
Yeah. I just turned 40. So
yeah, welcome. Cool. I think it's fucking amazing. It is true that like you really do stop caring more about what people think, which is a bit dangerous when you're already a bit mouthy for myself, but I just like feel so good about everything and about who I am. And like, there's no confusion anymore about that. Like,
no,
I can no longer be gaslit, you know, it's just like, it's just a no. The no is just
Yes.
a no, and the yes is a yes.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, very simple.
It's there's no like, like I can't even imagine the years wasted in dramatic bullshit. It's just
Yeah.
not possible anymore. It's so freeing, really. So
Yeah.
yeah, I was actually thinking about that. Like I think it might have even been yesterday, just like the idea of like getting older but not feeling older inside.
No, not at all.
I was like, is it like this? Like when I'm in 40 more years, is it going to be like this? Like,
I think it will.
Yeah. And then I thought, well, that could really fuck you up, right? Like, I was actually like having this inner conversation with myself, like, oh, are you just like still like this? And then like, I'm like 80, but then I'm like, shit, I'm,
Yeah, like, because I meet people and I always think that they're like older than me or something. And then I'm like, oh no, they're 35. I'm the older one.
Bitch is younger.
Older one.
Yeah, I'm not liking that these days. Like,
Yeah.
I think that happened to me at like hockey. I was like, oh, these bitches are for sure like older. I'm like, I'm 27. I'm like,
oh my God.
Jesus Christ. Thank God that's over.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Totally.
Though the skin, anything I could do for my skin would be.
I know. And see, that's where, as a holistic person,
tell me about it.
I'm not going down the road of injections.
I just don't. I'm on the fence, off the fence. So I've done it once. I was this year, I was like, fuck it, I'm doing it. I'm getting frozen. I'm freezing the shit out of my forehead at least. And then, but then like I think about it and I'm like, oh, I just don't think I can, I just don't know. Like, and I'm not judging anyone who is.
It's not a one-time thing. Then it's the maintenance basically for the rest of your life.
I know. And I
want to be happy. I want to be at a place where I'm like, I got these wrinkles because I laugh and I've lived a good life. And I have these age spots because I'm a fucking sun worshiper. And like, that's not going to change,
Totally. I always think like, fuck, I have these lines because I smoked and I drank a lot. And like, I was really anxious and stressed. So
we're showing our life, and we've had a very colorful life, and we're only,
I actually think
a third of the way through.
I don't know. We still look, I don't know, getting older. I get more compliments now than I ever did.
Well, you look great. You look amazing.
Well, I just hope that we keep aging in reverse. Yeah. My parents have pretty good genes. So like my dad is going to be 80 in May. Yeah. He's like 60 in looks. Yeah. Maybe 68.
Yeah, for sure.
Seriously.
For sure.
I just, Siri she just doesn't mind her own business. It's so annoying.
Weird. Yeah.
I almost need to disconnect her during these kinds of calls. So listen, here's the deal. So Sarah and I have been in cahoots again, and we are teaming up. And so I've been doing these women's retreats. Well, I didn't do them for 2 years. I just had my first retreat again in October. It felt so good to be back. The dog is at it again.
Yeah, come here.
Just protecting his mom.
Yeah, he's a sweet boy.
He looks so cute.
He's so cute.
Yeah. So anyway, we're going to come together. So Sarah's joining me for the nutrition part of the retreats beginning in April. That's when the first retreat of 2022 will be. There will be 8 spots available. And I'm really pumped to have you there.
I'm so excited. Cool. Yeah, I think it's so cool.
I haven't officially opened registration, but anyone who hears this and says like, I really want to be a part of a weekend with us.
Yeah, because I'm just like, it's already January. It's second half of April. Am I correct?
Yeah, I really don't have the dates in my brain right now, but I believe it's April. It is it's not infringing on Easter. I know that.
Right. Yeah.
It's not in one of those weekends of Easter. So
No.
it's here on Vancouver Island. It's women only. It includes everything. I rented a beautiful lodge, West Coast River Lodge, on Vancouver Island. It's right along the river. They have an outdoor gazebo that I turn into the meditation space. Any movement that we do is done in there too, unless it's going to be nice enough to do movement out on the deck. I focus a lot on intention work. It'll be spring intention setting. Sarah's going to offer you some nutrition stuff. Plus she's going to make all your meals and all your snacks for the entire time that we're on the retreat. It's a Thursday to Sunday. And we want to see you there. It's a great opportunity to grow and expand and build a spiritual community of like-minded women. So
I've always wanted to go on a retreat like this, and I haven't. So now, like, I kind of get to do it. And I'd actually would love to be almost known as like the retreat chef, right? Like there's a lot of women offering retreats right now, you know, and I would love to be that person to kind of fit, you know, fill that void instead of hiring the resort to do the cooking and bring a holistic chef.
Well, that's the beautiful thing that I like about this private space that I rent is that it's not,
there's no staff.
There's no staff.
Yeah.
And the place is yours for the weekend. It's gorgeous. The rooms you get shared accommodation with a private bathroom. You'll have your own room. I have my own room. Like it's like a commercial kitchen in the kitchen. It's rad. And it has like a huge table for everyone to dine together.
Yeah. That's
tea
amazing.
and coffee station. Like it's really wonderful. So
yeah.
I mean, I already know the great things that we have achieved together in the past, and that was before the immense growth that we have had now. So I am more than excited to be embarking on this with you.
Yeah, I can't wait to create the food for the retreat. I can't wait.
Yeah, it'll be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would say that's probably it for today, Sarah. Thank you so much for jumping on the show with me. I'm sure you'll be back again.
I think so. Yeah. Thank you very much for having me. Yeah. We'll come back when I'm out of semi-retirement.
Yeah. Well, I'll see if I have any more psychic inklings of your future. Anyone who wants to follow Sarah, she's at Sarah's Holistic Kitchen on Instagram. Give her a follow, check out her tag in the show notes, and have an awesome day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.